You ever notice how every major superhero gets a super cool origin? Peter Parker gets bitten by a radioactive spider, his uncle dies, and he has to live with the consequences. Bruce Wayne has the whole dead parents thing. Hal Jordan gets chosen by a magical space ring for his willpower, but he can't fight against the Earth, should date an underage girl. Richard Rider, a dying alien crashed in the middle of the road, looked at Richard Rider and said, he'll do, and somehow turned him into one of the best and funniest Marvel heroes. If you've never heard of Nova before, don't worry, most people only remember him from that Spider-Man animated show. But if you want to learn more about him and other comic superheroes, please subscribe. I upload maybe once a week, and it really helps the channel. Nova's real name is Richard Rider, and before all the superhero nonsense, he was just a normal kid from New York. He wasn't a genius like Tony Stark or Batman, he wasn't rich like Tony Stark or Batman, he wasn't secretly destined to save the universe, he was just a dude. Then one day, a member of fucking Nova Corp named Roman Day crash lands on Earth after his entire unit gets wiped out. Now, imagine being Richard for a second. Not only do you hear that this buff as fuck alien's entire unit got wiped out, but he wants you to be the guy that fights the people that just killed him. Honestly, I would hate it too if an alien falls out of the sky and then I become employed. Ugh. Roman Day transfers his powers to Richards and then dies. It leaves this teenager with absolutely no instructions. He doesn't get a manual or a pamphlet or a training video. He just looked at him and said, you'll figure out, then died right on the spot. He ends up giving him powers, such as flight, super strength, energy blast, force field, space travel, you know, the usual when an alien crash lands in the middle of the road. And eventually, he gets access to the full Nova Force. Dude, these guys need to come up with better names. Usually, the powers of the Nova Corps get split between thousands of members. Richard ended up carrying enough of it to make most superheroes start sweating. Except for fucking Squirrel Girl. But the funny part is, he never stops acting like he used to. You'd think becoming one of the most powerful people in the galaxy would make someone calm down a little. You know, the whole with great power comes great responsibility thing. No, this guy spends half his career talking trash to aliens that could erase continents. He'll look at some giant cosmic nightmare that's been alive for 10 million years and immediately start running his mouth. And every time you're reading wondering if finally he gets turned into dust. Sometimes he wins, and sometimes he gets hit so hard you can hear the comic panels crease. One thing I always liked about Nova is he feels completely out of place. The Marvel Universe is full of gods, kings, billionaires, super geniuses, and immortal beings. Then there's Nova, a guy who forgets his homework was due, but somehow still saves galaxies. A comic that really put him on the map was Annihilation. And good lord, Marvel absolutely put this man through a wood chipper. Annihilus launches the Annihilation Wave, which is basically a giant army dedicated to ruining everybody's week. Maybe more than that, since entire worlds get wiped out and space empires are collapsing. The Nova Corps are devastated, everything's on fire and exploding, and nobody's exactly having a grand old time. But Rider somehow ends up carrying the remaining Nova Force and gets shoved directly into the center of disaster. After he gets all this power, the version of Noah you see feels different. Not because he suddenly becomes dark and edgy, he's just tired. Like somebody who has just spent way too many years dealing with everybody else's problems. The jokes are still there, the attitude's still there, but you can tell he's seen some stuff, which is probably why so many fans of the Nova comics won't shut up about the storyline. It's a comic that took him from space guy with a cool helmet who was in Spider-Man show to one of Marvel's best cosmic characters. I think people connect with Richards because he's never the obvious choice. When the universe is falling apart, you expect some cosmic god to save the day, or the Avengers, or some big team. Instead, it's this exhausted dude from New York who keeps getting handed impossible situations and finding a way to laugh through them. Not because he's the smartest person in the room or because he has some master plan, it's because he's stubborn, sarcastic, and constantly in over his head. And somehow that's exactly what makes him work. And also the helmet's sick, let's be honest, that definitely helps. Again, if you like this video or are just tired of LARPing Marvel, DC, and other comic heroes, then please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel and gives me the drive to make more videos like this. Thank you for watching.